Hi Darren, this is Arya Fard. I am about to present you my Capstone Project. I hope you don't mind the background music. Just add a little bit of ambiance to the mood. So first, I have my main page here. And before I go into any of the code, I'm going to show you the actual website itself. And then I'll go through some of the code of what I've learned and then answer the 4 questions as well. I first decided to do my project on my mother. She was born in 1955 and she's retired now, and so she spends all year windsurfing. And so half the year she goes to the windsurf capital of the world. It's on the Columbia River. It separates Washington and Oregon. They sail there until it gets too cold. When the water gets too cold, they get out of there and they go to La Ventana in Mexico, and they sail down there during the winter time. So this is basically a site that will get people to come to this site if they want to check out different places to go, things to do when the wind's not blowing, a little bit about my mom, and then just a simple contact page. This is the home page. It gives a little bit of a breakdown of what windsurfing is and why it's so fun and where to go to do it if you want to be the best and if you want to go to where the best places are. Have a little, you can change the pictures as you hit it. As you hit the tabs, this is my mother right here. She was born in 1955. A little bit of bio on her and her kids and what she likes to do and why she likes windsurfing. It's pretty cool. My mom's 60 years old and she's been doing this for the last 20 years, so she's pretty active. For sites to sail, I did this in an accordion, and I have different places to go that are real popular on the gorge, places that she told me about. One of the things that I had to do for this page here is the accordion was not sizing correctly, and it kept bringing up a scroll bar. And so what I did to counteract that, we go back to the code here. I'll go to the sites page. I came up here, and instead of just running the accordion, I made the auto height false and then cleared the style for true. And then I had everything do it. That made it so that there wasn't a scroll bar. And then for the div that all the sites are in, for right here, the accordion kept overlapping it. So what I did was I set the height for the entire div to auto, which I thought was really cool, really simple to do too as well, because now the div will automatically change to whatever height we need it to, and it does that for all the pages as well. If you go to this tab here on things to do, this is one of the problems that I ran into. It is also an accordion, and I assume because I have 2 accordions in there, one's not closing, so the other one kind of has a little bit of a hard time to open. Still working on getting that fixed. Before things to do, like when the wind doesn't blow in the gorge, my mom said Oregon and Washington is one of the funnest places to be because there's always so much to do. And so I put in some of her favorite things and that she told me to put on this site. Hiking is really big out there. There's a ton of waterfalls, and she lists on like where to go. Whitewater rafting is a really big thing, and then if you're just too tuckered out to do any type of activities because you've been on the water the entire time, you could go on wine tours, which there's dozens of wineries up and down the gorge. So if you haven't been, I think it'd be pretty cool. I think you'd like it. When I go back to sites to sail, the accordion works just fine, like you can see here. But if you see this, if I go back to things to do, the accordion for some reason is not opening up. So what I have to do is I refresh this page and I go to things to do, and it comes right back up. So then there's no problems there. So I'm going to be working on that to get that fixed. That's my main issue right now as far as I'm going. And I have a simple contact page that does some validation. I'm gonna leave the email out because I had to do an email validation for it, and then just the country. So if you just put your name in there and it's not a valid email and you go to submit that, it'll tell you to please provide a valid email address. And when I researched this and I looked back into what we did for PHP, I also saw that we have this that is for the email expression, and it basically forces that person to put in a correct email address using the @ and the dot, the .com at end, or .yahoo, Gmail, whatever you want to do. So that's the basic form here for the contact page. It's real simple. I didn't go too much into the contact page except for the validation to make sure everything worked good on that. One of the things that I thought was really cool for this page, and I had a huge problem with at first, it took me hours to figure out, is I wrote the main page and I had the jQuery put in here and I styled everything out and everything looked fine. But then when I wrote my second page, the About Me page, I actually re-put in everything that you see in the main page. Like, I thought I was gonna have to restyle and put all these tabs in just so that everything matched and was uniform. What I found out that was really cool is once I did it on this main page, I didn't have to do it on any of the other pages. I actually just put into the body the stuff that I wanted, and it ran just fine, and it came up with the same type of style that you need. And pull up the site here again. So I thought that was really cool on how we could not have to waste our time re-putting in all that styling stuff or the jQuery libraries or anything like that. It just basically pulled it for all the other tabs. It pulled it for what the home page was specified as. So basically I just put in this block of code here and the image, and it worked just fine. And whenever I made changes to the home page and everything in there, it made changes accordingly to this. The only thing that I had to hard code in for these tabs here was the accordion on those different pages, because I didn't want the entire site to be an accordion. I just wanted those two tabs, so I put those in on the specific tabs itself. If you look right here, that's what I have with this accordion right here. So that was a really cool experience. I spent probably 5-6 hours trying to figure it out, and it came out being something that was way easier than what I made it out to be. So that was a really cool experience and learning. For my 4 questions, it says, what sort of problems did you have during the project? I guess I just answered the first one. That was my main problem, was getting everything to be uniform. My second biggest problem is that second accordion. Whenever I go out of the page and then back to the tab, for some reason it's not loading up, so I'll be working on that throughout the whole thing. Make sure that everything's good on that. What did I learn from the problems that I had? The biggest thing that I learned from the problems that I had is the more and more I failed, the more and more I learned. So the more and more I tried, I found ways not to do things, and then I also found, shortcuts and quicker ways to do things as well. So I thought that was really cool. Sitting down and programming for hours is something that has to definitely be practiced, and as I was doing it, I found out that it was really easy to do the more and more that I did that. So I thought that was cool too. I'm not really good at recording videos, so I apologize if I'm stuttering a lot. It says, what did you learn about the clients? So my third question, I know a lot about my mom, so there's not a lot that I learned a ton about her. One of the things, if I was to learn anything from this project and working with my mom, is she has a true passion for windsurfing, and she talks about all the different places you can go. You can tell that she loves to do this. This is a picture of her in La Ventana, and this is just something that she loves to do, and she was really excited to have it. even if she doesn't use this site, or if we decide to improve it in the future, I think we'll leave it up for a good amount of time, because it's just something for her to look at. If she wants to add things onto it, now that I know how to do it, I can just add it on there real quick, and she could just direct people to the site if she wants to have people do it. One thing that I was thinking about doing, but I think it's outside of the scope of what I know how to do, is maybe making a map of the Columbia River, and then having sites on the map that you can click on, and then a little pop up on the screen of where it is, and what that site is and what it can do. I think that'd be really cool, but I just have no idea how I would do that just yet. So for now, I had an accordion, because I thought it was a really good way to manage the site and make sure that everything was uniform and it looked good as well. The fourth question is, do you think you could revise this site in the next 2 to 4 years without trouble? If I wasn't programming at all, I definitely think I would have trouble revising the site, but I think this is something my mom really does want to keep, and I think this is something that we want to both work on to make it better. For the time constraints, it's definitely not something that we it's not like some professional website that she's going to try and go get clientele with, but that's not her point or what she's trying to do. She basically just wants this on the internet to provide information for people in case they ever want to get into windsurfing. So yeah, I think this is something that we will be doing in the near future, and we'll try to make it better. As far as everything else, I thought this class was awesome. I thought everything that we learned was pretty cool, as far as like the accordion and how to use jQuery and whatnot. I thought that was really cool. It's not something that I've ever done before, and I really appreciate the time you took with us in class, and thanks for looking at my project. Sorry for the stuttering, and I hope you enjoy the background music at least. Thanks.